Guys, so in this video I'm gonna be building my dream mini Moto. See, we have a Social motor. I had a 72 volt battery right there, and a far driver 72 450. But the problem is this. So I'm running stock wheel, which is too small for me. Stock sprocket and stuff, and I have no chain tension, so it's like really loose. And yeah, I'm gonna be putting on extensions, wheels, suspension in this video, and it's gonna be my dream bike. So hopefully you guys stay tuned.
My swag, but I'ma always do it better. Never let them tell you never. I've been so locked down.
The first thing I'm gonna take off is probably gonna be the plastics, because I have to get underneath all this stuff, the wiring, not. So let's just take this stuff off and then we'll get back to it. I just took off the plastics. Obviously you can see there's like some scratches from the seat and stuff because I didn't sand it down, and it was only one bolt for me. But as I was looking, I took it off and my Razor Labs controller mount cracked here. It's 3D printed, so I should probably know better. I'm probably just gonna hang it up with zip ties now. So yeah, I'll try to figure out. So let's just disconnect all the wiring, hall sensor, the wires on the other side, and all these plugs for the throttle and everything. And then I'll get this off, and then the motor. Well, obviously the wheel first, and then the motor. So I got all the wires unplugged and stuff. Now I just need to take it off, the zip ties and the bolts. I think it's a bolt and an Allen key right here, bottom. So let's do that. Guys, we got the controller off. You can see I got the harness for the battery leads. Alright guys, so I just took off the rear brake, as you can see here. But for the front brake, I think I had a zoom brake, so I'm just gonna throw it away since it's not gonna fit on the new fork, because I didn't get the adapter. So we took it off here, and then we're just gonna have a rear brake for now, so I can see which brake. I could get probably a YBE front brake, because that's the suspension I ordered. Alright guys, so we just got the handlebars off. Pretty messed up, but it's fine because we got new forks. So now we just need the wheels, kickstand, motor, and the chain and stuff. And I think those are the final parts, and then we could get to sanding down and we'll finally paint it. And this is trash. Those parts are whack. So now that we got those parts off, let's move on to the wheels and take those off. Alright guys, and just like that, we have both wheels off. Now we just need the pegs and the motor, and that's all done. We could finally paint. Alright guys, we finally got the bike fully shipped except for the pegs. We're obviously gonna take those off, and we could finally get to painting. Let's go. So I'm gonna sand it down first and then just spray probably 2 coats. I'm gonna do one today, one tomorrow. Alright guys, we got the frame fully stripped. Now let's shake this up. Alright guys, I finished spray painting the bike, so it looks very good right now. The frame itself, I did it like a regular black, and then the back I did a glossy black, so it's gonna pop more, which I like better. And this is how it's looking. I covered all the red spots because it was an MX500, so obviously they come in red. And then I'm gonna take these forks off once this dries, and the rear shock, and we'll finally get on to the build. Guys, it's day 2. It's looking very good today. It's all dried up, so I'm not gonna do the second coat because it looks really good already. And I think I'm just gonna get to building, and hopefully it turns out good. So first thing I'm gonna do is take off this rear shock and put on the new one, and then after that I'm gonna take off these forks and put on the new ones. Alright guys, we got the old shock off. Now let's put on the new one. Guys, this is the new rear shock, and just look at how big it looks. The spring is the size of the old shock. If you guys want to know where this is from, it's from Moto. Make sure you guys go cop their parts. And this thing looks sick. Alright guys, we got the new rear shock on. Looks super cool. Looks way better. Not all painted and everything. So now we gotta put on the front forks. Then we'll probably do the motor next. So let's do that. Alright guys, so to take off the front forks, I'm pretty sure it's just this Allen key here and one bolt on the bottom, this big one, and then the whole thing will come off by itself. We just took off the old forks. Now we're gonna put on the new ones. The new forks we got are YBE front forks. Alright guys, we just finished unboxing the forks, and holy, shout out YBE for throwing in this free titanium. This is the down stem, this is the axle. Free titanium, guys. Look at that. Shout out YBE. Make sure you guys go cop them. Guys, just look at these triple clamps. These are nice. These are the forks I got. They're black with oil slick, and these look really clean. Let's put them on. So first thing we're gonna try to do is try to put these forks in the triple clamps, and then we'll try to put it on the bike. Alright guys, I got the forks on the triple clamps, but before putting them on, I need to grease up the axle, which is the titanium one right here. I need to grease up the down stem axle, and then it'll go in smooth because right now it's pretty rough. So got the grease here, pretty dirty, I know. And then we'll put these on. We finally got the forks on. That was a mission, but this thing looks clean. The triple clamp. Got the titanium here. Looks very nice. And then these oil slick forks. Oh my god. I don't know how y'all hate on YBE, bro. The next thing we're probably gonna have to do is put on the extensions, because that will make, we could put on the wheels after, which would be best for right now. And after that, once we do everything else, we could do the electronics, and it's finally done. Alright guys, these are the extensions we got from MX department. Let's see. Dang, that looks clean. I'm pretty sure it's like a wrap. It's like a sparkly black. And then it's like a regular silver. But it looks nice. Let's put them on. Okay guys, so these are the bolts that are gonna come with the swing arm extensions if you do get MX department. These are basically like ride or die, but way cheaper. They're only 130. And you could get colors like this, black, pink, whatever. Okay, so you're gonna have to put one bolt here, then that's gonna come out, and you're gonna put this bolt right there and tighten it down. Obviously you do have to drill a hole in the frame, but it's better you secure this one first and then drill the hole. So I'm gonna do that. So change of plans. Since I don't have the drill right now to do the extensions, I'm gonna try working on putting on the front wheel right now. Guys, so here's the wheels. It's a pretty big box. Let's open it up. Oh my god, bro, it's another box. Okay, so we got rotors right here. Let me lock in and open the other box. Alright guys, here are the wheels. We got the 1412 standard dirt set, I think it was called. So let's put on that tire because I'm pretty sure that's the 14. Let's put it on. Alright guys, another miscommunication, which is my fault, but the company, they forgot to send out the spacers and axles for the wheels, so I couldn't put those on, and this is a new day. So my uncle's finally helping me out with the extensions, so we're gonna put those on today. Alright guys, so here we put on the first side of the extension, and now this is how both of them look. They're very shiny, which look very good. Now we're gonna put the wheels on. We got some titanium on the sprocket. Now this is the rotor side. That's how it's looking. Looks very clean. Now this is how the bike looks with the wheel on. Looks very nice, but we still gotta get more spacers for the rear wheel, and the company is already sending those out. So let's get to putting on the rest of the parts. Alright guys, so right now we're gonna be putting on a Moto Watch shift lock for your Razor. This is what it comes with: a peg, spacer, washer, and a bolt. The bolt is gonna go right there in that hole. If you have an SX frame, you do have to drill out your own hole because it doesn't come with it. But we're gonna slide this through and then put the washer, I'm pretty sure. Then on the other side it's gonna be a spacer and the peg. So let's put this on. Alright guys, this is how it looks on the bike, and look, it looks amazing because it's like very shiny, and it's really easy to put on. You just have to put the bolt on the other side, hold that bolt with your hand, it's not hard, and you just twist this on and it goes on right away. So it's pretty easy to install and it looks great. Alright guys, the next thing we're gonna put on is my pegs, and all you need is 2 sets of Allen keys, because you need one on this side, one on this side. So let's put those on. Okay, so we got the pegs on. Now we're gonna put on the handlebars, so like we have a place to grab the bike and stuff. And after that, we'll put on the motor. Alright guys, so these are the parts that come with the YBE forks. I'm pretty sure this is gonna go onto here like that, and then we tighten it down from the bottom, and then this will go on like that over the handlebars with the other thing as well. So let's put this on. Alright guys, we got the handlebars on. They're looking pretty good. So next we're gonna put on the motor. Let's do that. Alright guys, we got the motor in. Now we're gonna put on our Rev 797 front number plate and our Baja light. Let's put this on. This is the Baja light I got. I got a white one. This is from Patrick's motoparts.org. Make sure you guys go buy from him. He's a very underrated business. Very good soldering. Looks really nice. Let's put this on. Alright guys, we got the Baja light and the front number plate on. Let's see. It's daytime, so it's not that bright, but in the nighttime it's really bright. It looks very clean. So now I think I'm put on the controller, so we could try and start testing everything out. This is the controller that I have. It's a Far Driver MD72450. Let me see if I can try. You could kind of see it right there. So we're gonna put this on the bike, but first we need to put the phase wires for the motor into this compartment. Then we'll probably hang it up, then we can start connecting all the wires. Alright guys, so when you take off the cover, this is what's gonna look like. You just have to color match the phase wires, so it has the colors here, right there. So it's yellow, green, and blue, and then the wires will have, well, pretty sure they'll have this same colors as well. And after that, you just have to cover it back up with the screws and stuff, and it'll look like that. Okay, we have all the phase wires in. Now we're just gonna try to mount it up here, and hopefully it works. Okay, so we got the controller mounted, and it's pretty secure. I just did some zip ties, 2 in the middle, 2 on the edges, and then 1 hole like on the bottom 2 cross. So it's pretty secure. Doesn't move that much. So now I think we could put the battery in and start plugging in the controls. Okay, so this is the battery I have. It's a hot pack 72 volt, 20 amp hour. So we're gonna put it, I put a piece of like foam padding here, so that it'll kind of absorb anything, like if I hit like a rock and like it shakes and stuff, it won't do damage to the battery. So let's put it on. Okay, so for right now, we're just gonna put some zip ties around the battery to hold it down, but I did order Econic Cycles battery straps, because they look really, really nice. But those haven't got here yet. So let's just put these for me now. Okay guys, so we got the battery nice and secure. So now we're gonna try to plug in all these wires and stuff. All these 2. And then after we'll plug in the battery and see if this thing works. Okay, so we got all the wires hooked up. We just need to connect the battery leads to the battery. I tried to do some cable management. It's not the best, but obviously it looks ugly right here, but I'm gonna put the plastics on so you won't be able to see it really, and it'll be under like the gas tank area. So let's plug in the battery, check if this motor controller battery works, and then we'll probably put the plastics on. Okay, so we got it plugged in. It's fully plugged in. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a chai battery right now. So all the controls are plugged in. They're all good, so let's see if it gets voltage. It does get volts. 66, pretty low. Let's see. Okay, it does work. I'm not gonna do much because I don't want to mess up the motor, because I heard it does mess up the motor if you run it without the chain. So now we know it works. We could put the plastics on, and we do need to wait for the spacers because the company forgot to send them out, but they're getting here tomorrow. So tomorrow's gonna be a good day. Alright guys, we got the plastics on. This thing looks really nice. So everything's ready. I think now we just have to wait for the spacers for the wheel, the back wheel. And then I have ride or die brakes, but I don't know if they'll fit. So either I'll get new ones or keep those. But it's looking really nice. Okay, so I also ordered a rock light from Patrick's motoparts.org. So we're gonna put this on. I think I'm gonna zip tie this to the frame. And this, I'm not sure where I'm gonna put that. Well, I'll figure it out. Okay, so we got it mounted. We just used 2 zip ties here. Then we put the sticky thingies on the battery because it's metal. So it's stuck to that. The batteries are in there, obviously. And for ball highlight, I put it behind the number plate, which is what everyone does. And the wires are behind there. And this one has a switch though. The back one doesn't. It's on the battery pack. So it looks very clean. Okay, so the battery straps got here. These look really, really nice. And the spacers and the axles also got here. So we're gonna put those later on today. Okay, so we got it on. All I did was one up and down and then one front to back. That's the front. That's the back. I did it like around the frame. And then this one I did under the frame. And obviously over the other side. So it looks really nice, and this will actually be able to secure it other than the zip ties. So the spacers got here today for the front wheel and the back wheel. Hopefully I could put those on today. Then my wheels will be good. Then I could probably put the chain on after. I ordered my brakes already. Well, just the back one. And hopefully that gets here soon. And that'll probably be the last part for the build. Okay, so I forgot to record, but we got the chain sprocket on the wheels, the spacers, the brakes, YBE brakes, front wheel. It looks really nice. So now we can ride it.
My swag, but I'ma always do it better. Never let them tell you never. I've been so locked in.